So Iza, who is Iza really behind the scenes? Who are you?
Behind the scenes,
Yeah.
like behind the scenes, but inside the company, or what do
Well,
I do in my spare time?
What do you do in your spare time? What do you do when you step into the office?
So my name is Iza Mrozowska. I am head of design at OrderGroup, and in my free time, I do tend to get crazy with extreme sports. I mean, they're not that extreme, but they're called extreme. Like my favorite sports are kite surfing and snowboarding,
Oh, cool.
and all the things that are connected somehow with boards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's me privately. And what do I do when I step into the office? I usually go to grab a jar of water.
When you do step into the office?
Yes,
and
when
you
I do
tend to-
step into the office, it's like one time a week.
Sure, yeah, same. I mean, twice a week really. Depends. But tomorrow, I think tomorrow there is a cake, so
Tomorrow there's a cake. No,
yeah, cheesecake.
next week. Cheesecake.
Yeah, cheesecake tomorrow. Basque style
Oh,
with no raisins.
yeah.
Do you like raisins?
In cheesecake?
Well, for example.
In general, I tend to like it. There are many things that I don't like, but in cheesecake, no, I hate it.
But
so the Basque cheesecake.
Yes.
Yes.
What do you say about low code? I've heard you're a fan.
Yeah, I am.
Care to explain?
Yeah, why not? Well, it's we're talking about MVP, right?
Right. Yeah, MVP
Okay.
development.
So in terms of MVP, I truly believe that's the only good approach, or at least cost-saving approach. Like,
Right.
why? Because if you develop a MVP for $1 million, then it shouldn't be called MVP.
Yeah, and then you don't have a product market fit, and then it goes to waste, and you have to scrap it and so on.
Just to be clear, like the definition says that you should be able to validate your ideas as soon as possible, like immediately. And if it's not no code that gives you the ability to do it, then what does?
Right. And then if the MVP works and people are all over it, you then can develop it even more further. And if it doesn't work for you, if that low code doesn't work for you further, then you just at least you have you gain traction.
Yeah.
Because first mover advantage is just too big, right?
Exactly. Like this is from what I see, this is a standard procedure right now. That people tend to develop their ideas with no code, with the use of no code tools, and afterwards, when they have it validated, then they do it the old school way, right?
Sure. Do you have your favorites as far as tools are concerned?
Well, in terms of the no code tools that you can validate your ideas with, I'd say that probably one of my favorite is the Retool.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the most versatile tool to build basically whatever. But there are tools that are not as complex as this one. So I don't know if you've heard about the Golden Kitty Award.
Sure, I did.
Okay, so most of the products that won last season were tools that had AI incorporated. There were no-code tools, low-code tools, and one of the most favorite one was Toddle. So it's an app for building software with a visual builder. It's super easy. It looks like Webflow, but it's supposed to give you a really good quality front end for your apps.
Sure.
So why would one waste or invest their money in something that has not been yet validated in a standard way with the old school tools, with the entire team that should be involved in developing a software that you have to validate, instead of just, for instance, going with the toddle?
Sure. I mean, if I'm to be devil's advocate, I'd say, what if somebody says, oh, but there are some limits to no code and low code, and essentially no code is just somebody else's code limiting you. What would you say?
I would say that MVP is limited. So what's the difference?
You tell me.
Okay, so if you want to waste your money, waste your money.
Sure.
That's my answer. If you want to keep the dollars in your pocket, still have a limited product, because MVP or MLP, because to be honest, that's the core difference. You can achieve with the same budget or with way smaller budget a MLP, which is a minimum lovable product, instead of MVP. These both are still limited. So, because you just mentioned that it's limiting. Well, it is, but MVP should be limited, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should be able only to validate the core functionalities, whether it's MVP or MLP. But with no-code tools, you can build minimum lovable product. So you can basically these money that you don't have when developing in a standard way, a MVP should be put in the design. You can save them and have a lovable product instead. I'm not sure if I make sense.
Yeah, you do. You definitely do. Right. So let's change topics a bit, because last year, right, you were attending a conference in Krakow.
This year.
Yeah. So care to tell us more about it?
It was a really awesome conference. It was a small conference. It was a design talk held by Rene Wawrzkiewicz, who runs the PGD Graphic Awards. And he decided to also run a design talks on the no-code topic. It was strictly on the Webflow.
Mm-hmm.
And things you can do with Webflow and the other no-code web builders, to be
Mm-hmm.
precise. So I was invited there to talk about Webflow and how we use Webflow in OrderGroup. And
Mm-hmm.
is it a tool? Why do we use Webflow if OrderGroup uses no-code tools when 80% of the entire company are developers?
Sure. What did you say?
That we use Webflow because it's a way for our clients who are looking for MVPs or for validating their identity or concepts faster. So it's a way for us to build outstanding visual identities, backing up their ideas, and just making sure that their look is super professional,
mm-hmm.
but also in a really limited cost and time.
Makes sense. Iza, thanks for having the talk. It's been lovely to talk to you, and best of luck with your.
Thank you very much. Likewise.
Endeavors.
And see you soon.
See you soon.